Do I look like I just woke up? Because I just woke up. Oh my gosh. You guys. Okay, we have some updating to do. You know, this really funny thing happened to me today. I gotta be really careful what I think because thoughts are really powerful. People say this all the time, but I genuinely control my reality with my thoughts every day, all day, every day. When I go to bed, I will visualize what it is I'm going to dream about, and I'll go dream about that. And then I had this thought today. I had to go, starting to look like I've got like, starting to look like I'm a drug addict. I'm not a drug addict, okay? I swear. I'll explain in a minute. But I had to go down to LabCorp, like butt crack of dawn this morning, and have more blood drawn. And they're in this really shitty business complex, medical business complex. And so they've been redoing the stairwells in this place, and we've been getting a lot of rain out here in California lately. And whoever is managing this building does not know how to cope with the large amounts of rain that are just coming into it, because it's really strange how it's set up. So the outer perimeter makes it look like it's an enclosed building, and then you walk through the doors and it's actually open on the inside with just this circuit of buildings. So they get a lot of rain on the inside, and like their stairwells are all made out of wood, not really made for dealing with rain or water of any kind. So they've been redoing some of them, and now almost all of the stairwells are closed off because of water damage and it being dangerous. So they've got these janky little elevators. And so I hop in that, and I was thinking on my way up, I'm like, God, it'd be just my luck if I get stuck in the elevator. Because right after this LabCorp appointment, then I have to boogie over to another city and get more blood drawn. And yes, this is a syringe. More blood drawn for a different test, which I'll give you guys updates on my health. This is testosterone. I'm doing a little testosterone injection because my hormones are still super, super wacky. My testosterone is in the tank, and this actually helps quite a lot. But yeah, so I'm sitting around, and it's taking them forever to get me in the back for my blood draw. And while I'm back there, like, they take me into a back closet, basically, is what it looks like. I mean, it's the deserted part of where they're drawing labs. And I'm convinced, I'm like, they're gonna forget about me back here. And next thing I know, I hear them saying, oh yeah, some guy got stuck in the elevator. Who do we call to get him out? Like, what? So some poor dude got stuck in this same elevator that I rode up. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Poor guy. I really felt for him. They're like, well, we could call the building supervisor, and I think you should probably call the fire department. And, okay, so I am basically a blood bank at this point. I have been giving blood pretty much at least 2, 3, 6, 12 times a week for a very long while. But we are finally making some progress. So one of my big blood draws showed I have really, 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 really bad mercury toxicity. So on the thing, I'll try to post a screenshot. I'll try to edit this and edit blah, blah, blah. I also need to write up a little update on my site at some point. I've been so fucking busy with everything. So the upper limit of the test is like 4.35 micrograms per liter, something like that. Basically anything over that number is toxicity, and mine was over 50 micrograms per liter. So very high. And the issue is I can't start chelation right this minute because I still have amalgam fillings in my mouth. I have at least 5. I think I have more than that. 5 that I can see. And it's kind of interesting because I've been having health problems since I was about 7 or 8. That's about when things just kind of started getting weird in my childhood. I started getting sick a lot, and a lot of gut problems, food problems, depression, anxiety, weird food allergies, chemical intolerances, yada, yada, yada. So, part of me is curious. I'm really hesitant to jump on the like, oh my gosh, I'm hopeful that this might be the answer for all of my lifelong health issues. But there is this voice in the back of my head going, I don't know, maybe, because I would have gotten my amalgam fillings, my first ones, right around the time that all the weird shit started happening. So I'm a little bit hopeful that getting these out and chelating might go a whole lot further than just fixing the acute issues that have come up recently. With all of that said, chelation is going to be an interesting process. I'm planning on doing the Cutler, whatever program, Cutler approach. I don't know what you'd call it. Anyways, the idea is you take a chelator every 3 or 4 hours round the clock for a period of days, and then you do that for a short period of days, and then you take a break for a number of days, and then you cycle back and forth. And like literally you're waking yourself up every 3 or 4 hours through the night, round the clock. You're doing this every 3 to 4 hours. And then taking binders as well. So I will not be doing the, like, people have, pretty much everybody's Dr. Google and like, oh, well, you should do this. This is a chelator, da da da. And not really, like, you know, they have a general grasp of what chelation means, but not really a full system approach for understanding how it works. So, I've had all sorts of random things. You should take cilantro. You should take chlorella. You should take, whatever, DMSA is one of them, I think. There's DMSA, DMPS, ALA, there's a whole laundry list of different things that are natural chelators, non-natural chelators, and blah, blah, blah. I will not be taking cilantro. I actually kind of fucked this up because, so I did take some cilantro kind of in the middle of like figuring out that mercury was a problem. And after, like, immediately after doing that, now I'll be sitting around my house just randomly and I can taste the mercury coming out of my fillings. It fucked some shit up with my fillings. So I never had that problem before. That's brand new. And I mean, it's bad. My mouth will burn and my tongue will go numb. And chewing on charcoal does seem to help that short term. But ultimately, I'm going to get my amalgams taken out. So, speaking of that, tomorrow I am going down to Tijuana to talk to a dentist down there, one of the best in the world for the specific amalgam removal I want done. So I'll go down there, have an exam, get the imaging done, and talk about how much it'll cost, when I can get it done, all of that good stuff. So that was the second blood draw that I was in for this morning, was to test for biocompatibility for different compounds. Basically figure out, these fillings have to be replaced with something, what will be most biocompatible with my body to, you know, be least toxic, least risk of side effects in the future. So I do have some other resin fillings in my mouth, but honestly, I have no fucking idea what their components are. And from my understanding, a lot of resin contains BPA. So it's just like anything medical, you know, they're like, oh, this is really bad. Here, we found the solution. And then you find out years later, well, the solution actually is also toxic, just in its own unique way. That's all. You know, just in its own way. It's still special. So, yeah. Until then, I haven't been doing raw carnivore. I'm down to mostly just eating eggs for the... beef is too much. My histamine intolerance is kicked into high gear recently, so I can't really do beef. I'm not a big lamb person. Chicken and pork I can't do on a regular basis because it does trigger anxiety for me and some other mood issues. I think it's because of the omega-6s. What else? I found that I can tolerate cauliflower, which is interesting. And supposedly cauliflower helps degrade histamine, helps pull it out of your system through your GI tract. So I've been eating cauliflower from time to time. What else? I also found I can tolerate rice, which is interesting, but I'm not trying to eat a lot of that because the carbohydrates are high. And speaking of which, I ate a little bit of chocolate yesterday. And my body was like, warning, warning, we're not used to eating this much sugar all day long. It felt like I'd been drinking espresso all day. Literally my body was just like, we don't know how to handle this. We are not equipped to detox this kind of food. So I didn't really sleep last night. I think I fell asleep somewhere around 2:30 for maybe 30, 45 minutes. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And then I got up at 5. And yeah, the day went exactly how it would go if you don't sleep all night and you wake up super early and you start your day and you're rushing, is that by noon, like, my brain was just absolutely fried. I ate a little bit of something and then curled up in a ball on my bed and passed out for about 3 hours. It was incredible. Actually, I love naps. I really love naps. That is one of the best highlights of living in the ambulance, are just enterprise level napping opportunities at a moment's notice. So one of my all-time favorite things, especially in the summertime, is I'll get situated with like a good airflow in the ambulance and like just the right privacy set up, my curtains and so on and so forth. You can't really see in my side RV windows because they're all, they all have tinting on them. But yeah, so get the airflow set up so it's nice and cool in here, and then just strip down naked, just spread out on my bed and just collapse in the middle of the day. It's just pure magic. So I had this really great dream where my mom had invented this whole line of different products for sewing, just to make your life easier, sewing stuff. So one of them, as a kid, I remember she volunteered to sew a whole bunch of costumes for one of my sister's, like, theater, dance, something or other, programs at school. And they had picked out this special sequins fabric. And the problem with it was that, you know, as you're sewing, your sewing machine, the needle gets warm as you're sewing because of the friction going in and out of the fabric. And so as the needle would warm up, it would get all gummed up with the sequins fabric and the glue that was used to hold the little sequins on. And so she would spend hours trying to remove this gluey, gummy bullshit from her needles and save them, because needles aren't cheap. And she had like 12 or 16 costumes or something to sew up. And of course, I think she had to do it in a couple of days or like a weekend or something. Like, buy them, cut all of the material, sew them all up, make sure they fit all the kids. And so in this dream, she had come up with this product that would fix that. It's basically like you would just lay it underneath the layer of fabric you would be sewing, and as the needle went in and out, whatever this membrane was that she had invented would de-glue the needle as it was going in and out, so you didn't have to stop and clean it off, and you would never get a buildup of junk. It was really, really fascinating product. And she had a whole line of different sewing products, though. This wasn't the only one. That was just the one that I remember in a lot of detail. And then I had invented some other project, and I wasn't able to help her out with hers because I was all in working on my project, and I was in this dream. I was really upset because I wanted to help out with her product and be involved and like the day-to-day and everything like that, but also I was like, but I don't want to abandon mine. And I like to think of it less as I had this dream about what our lives could be, and instead I actually went in and time traveled and got to experience a different timeline that actually is like it's real. It exists somewhere in the universe. There's another version of me and my mom Cheryl out there, and she's got her sewing line and I've got my mystery product. I don't remember. It must not have been that good. So yeah, that was that was fun. I've been doing a whole lot more intentional dreaming lately, where I'll lay down in bed and I'll go over in my head about this is what I want to dream about, this is what I want to accomplish. Sometimes they're like really generic ideas, and other times, sorry. God, I've been getting really lazy with enunciation lately. But other times it'll be something really, really specific. Like I want to talk to this specific person in this environment, this time of the day, and this is what we're going to talk about. This is what our conversation is going to be. But yeah, so I've been doing that. And then, I don't know, you guys want to hang out with me while I take my heart monitor off too? And I can be done with that today. I don't need to wear it another day, I don't think. I was hoping, in a way, I went to the gym with it on. I mean, I've been to the gym a couple days with it on, but there was really only one day where I actually got anything accomplished. And it was like every 2 or 3 minutes I was pushing the little button saying, warning, I'm having symptoms I should not be having right now. Warning, warning, warning. So they want you to press the little button whenever that happens, so that it'll just kind of like make a little record they can check in on to see if there's any particularly odd wavelengths happening at that time. But yeah, this was whoever invented this product. I'm gonna say it again. They're a fucking idiot. Sorry, am I allowed to curse? So this wrap that I'm taking off here is not part of what came with this product. This is Sanoderm, which I use, put it over the top of tattoos when you get them new to help them heal better. And it's a great adhesive film because it doesn't irritate the skin, or at least in my experience it doesn't, but it also sticks really well. And the adhesive that they use for this monitor is an absolute joke. So they made this big, okay, I didn't think I had hair on my chest. But apparently that felt like like when you pull something and there's hair underneath. Yeah, so they made this big to-do about, oh, we need to install it in the office, you know, because it's so complicated. It was not. I'm pretty sure a baby baboon could have installed it just fine. But, you know, they're not getting paid the big bucks, so Got to make sure the clinic can milk my insurance for all it's worth. And they said, well, you know, the first 24 hours, don't. This fucking stinks. I'm not sure I should be rubbing this on my body. First 24 hours, no sweating, no showering. Basically avoid anything that will compromise the adhesive. And the guy explains, he's like, oh yeah, it's this really advanced adhesive, and you know, you put it on, it's like a sticker when you put it on, and then after 24 hours it turns into this glue. Like within 24 hours it cures, it morphs into this really special fancy yada 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 bullshit, you know. I'm sure that some medical salesperson went in there and bought them lunch and sold them on this whole idea, which is just unicorns and fairies. Just, yeah, this will sell some units. We've got this really advanced adhesive. It's, you know, nobody's ever invented it before. World patented. And so I did that. I followed the rules. And day one after, it was peeling up at the edges. And I was like, this is not good. It's not going to stay. So I put a bunch of Sanoderm over the top of it. And then after a few more days, I replaced it with another bit of Sanoderm. And this second bit actually stuck really well. So I didn't have to do it a third time. Yeah, so that's the, that's kind of dirty. Hold on, let me, sorry guys, let me save you from the horrors. I don't know, they want me to just send the whole fucking thing in? Alright, come on. I kind of want to just cut these wings off, but I don't know that that's allowed. They never said anything about that. So I have a fake upstairs, if you didn't guess that, whatever. Some people might get all bunched up in their panties about it. I don't know why. If something doesn't really have anything to do with you, but whatever. It's kind of interesting how people react to me. I don't understand why this bothers you. It doesn't bother me. But anyways, that's here nor there. But when I got them done, how it initially felt was like somebody had taken about 10 books. I'm talking like dictionaries and strapped them to my chest. Like, it just felt like I had a big weight sitting on my rib cage on my chest. And it took a lot more effort to breathe and just kind of go about my normal whatever until, you know, eventually, just like anything, once you get used to something, you don't think about it anymore. It doesn't stand out. It's not like it's anything. So that's not on my conscious wavelengths anymore. It's been like, 10, 11 years or something like that. Maybe a little longer. But when I had this on, it reminded me of that. Even though it didn't weigh a lot, like just having the adhesive on it was a little restrictive to my movement and made me think about that. It was really bizarre. The first couple nights I kind of slept goofy. A lot of times I like to sleep on my stomach, and I couldn't really do that because just the way that this thing is built, it's kind of, it doesn't seem very big and bulky, but when you have a chest already, adding anything else on top of it, I mean, my chest is already in the way, so it just makes it more in the way. I'm trying to lay on it and not fuck up the adhesive that was already fucked up. It was fun. Good times. So we're gonna stick this, you stick it in a box, and they take their sweet ass time decoding it and getting it back to your doctor. So it'll probably be like 3 to 4 weeks before I hear anything on this. But I don't really believe I have a heart issue. I believe that the primary problem is the mercury toxicity, which can fuck up your organs, including your heart. And it fucks up your body's mineral balance, which also fucks up your heart. And every other heart test I've ever had has come back normal, even though I've had 2 heart attacks. Surprise! No, I'm way too young. Even though trying to determine if I need to rip anything else off or just leave it as is. Okay, so I do that. That's the little thing. There's a sticker somewhere. Yeah. Gently tilt. Stick. Oh, they want me to stick it on this thing. Okay. Stick it on the patch. I don't know why. 1 remove, 2 stick. Yeah, it's flashing all right. All right, it's got wings. So they gave me this booklet so that when I had moments where things were weird, I could like record it in this little log. I did that for 1 day. And I know, if they give you instructions, you should do it. And, don't short yourself on the whole process, yada yada. But seriously, I pinged that button more than 100 times in the 2 weeks I wore it. And at some point it was just like, this is stupid. I'm sitting around doing nothing. Nothing has changed. And my heart is just being really fucking weird right now. So I gave up on recording every detail in the booklet at some point. This gets to go in the mail. Yay! But yeah, I'm really glad. My poor arms. Today I felt very sad about my veins after getting blood drawn. There's this one place I go to. They're really, 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 really nice and really affordable. But sometimes empathy can be too much. Sometimes you can just have too much fucking empathy to get the job done. And I think I have come to that understanding after years of working on farms when I was younger. Because, sometimes shit just hurts and it sucks and it's miserable, but you still gotta fucking do it. And the less you apologize and are like, checking in, oh my gosh, are you okay? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. Just fucking do it, Emily. Just do it, okay? You gotta take that cow in the ear, just fucking pull the trigger. You gotta give this horse a vaccine, just fucking stab him already, just do it. So there was one of the tests I had to give a hair sample, and I am not super attached to my hair. I mean, fuck, my hair has been falling out by the handfuls most of this last year, so my hair is super, super thin right now. It's crazy thin. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I have like almost no hair left on my head. I mean, I do have a lot of hair still, but relative to how much hair I had, there's almost none. So I had to get a blood lab, and I can't see shit in the back of my head, right? So I'm like, hey guys, I need like an inch chunk of hair cut as close to the base of the scalp as possible. I brought a pair of scissors to make it really easy. You don't have to use your own. Could you just chop a chunk out of the back of my head and call it a day. That would be a really huge favor for me. And it caused them considerably more pain just thinking about cutting a bit of hair out of my head than it bothered me. And it was my fucking hair. But okay, so here was the thing. They were so concerned about not cutting more than absolutely necessary that they had to do it twice, and they ended up cutting at least two times more than what needed to be cut, because they fucked it up the first time because they didn't want, they were, oh God, oh, this, I'm so sorry, this is so horrible, just shut up and fuck, it's just hair, it's gonna grow back, it's not like I'm asking you to cut a finger off of my hand, okay? It's really not horrible. I mean, and it's cutting it. It's not even like you got to pull that much hair out of your head. When you're doing, I remember back in the day when we ran DNA testing on horses, you had to rip that shit out by the root. like, like, come on, it's not even painful. It's literally, you're just, so I've got this big chunk in the back of my head now, missing hair. It's so good I'm not trying to impress anybody with the way I look right now. Speaking of which, okay, so I'm newly single, and I was like, all right, well, what's a newly single girl do? She decides, maybe I'll adopt a child. So I told this to my best friend not too long ago, and she laughed pretty hard about it. So I thought, yeah, maybe I'll adopt a child. So what did I do? I installed Tinder. And, I spent a little bit of time on Tinder, and like all the potential children I could adopt out there in the world. And after a couple of weeks, I realized, I really don't think I want to raise a child after all. So I uninstalled the app. And, yeah. Really, it was strange because I remember the last time I installed that app too was pretty quickly I realized, there's really, it's tough once you get to a certain point of independence as a woman. And I think that there's a bit of this going on of why there's so much pushback for like the traditional gender roles again, is like a woman be subservient to the man and, not be so independent and is because when you get to a certain level of independence as a woman, you start to realize there is absolutely nothing a man can offer you. There's no reason to get into a relationship with a man for the most part. I mean, the odds of finding a man that would be particularly interesting to a very independent woman becomes a very small pool of applicants because, for example, I'm very handy. Like, I can run my own power tools and do my own home projects and things like that. So, and the average guy out there, like, he doesn't know how to use a hammer. And that's the most basic tool out there. Well, I mean, I guess a Phillips screwdriver is like the most basic, but yeah, so, I mean, they're not handier than I am, and most of them aren't great mechanics. Most men don't want a woman that's materialistic or, gold digger motivated for money. So, like, if that's what they can offer is financial, I mean, that's a conundrum in itself, right? Because they don't want a woman that's motivated by it, but that might be the only thing they have to offer. And then I'm not lonely. I don't really need an activity partner. Most men are not that intelligent. I mean, most people in general are not that intelligent. I'm not saying that to be rude or anything like that, but I don't want to just sit around and like talk about the weather or, the shit that's on TV. I don't even watch TV. Like, you gotta come at me with something original. A lot of people, they're so programmed. And that's really where I'm getting at. Not so much stupid, but they're just so programmed. So they talk about the same things as everybody else. They don't really have a whole lot of original things going on in their life or thought processes, or they're afraid to talk about like super weird shit. Like, let's sit down and talk about what if aliens are real? I mean, whether you think they really are or not, let's go down that rabbit hole together. Let's talk about some weird fucking shit. Even if it is completely bonkers. Let's do it. Why not? I mean, what else are we going to talk about? The Super Bowl? The scripted Super Bowl? Let's see, what else? What else can they offer? Sex? I don't know. It's a lot of effort to go through just to have sex with somebody. A lot of wasted time. Yeah, I'm just not motivated by that anymore. Random hookups. And then the thing with that too is there's no guarantee it's going to be good. The odds of it being even remotely just mediocre aren't even high anymore. So yeah. That was my short journey into the dating pool again. Eventually I posted something like, you know what? I really am just looking for somebody who has a table saw. Because I have a tabletop I want to cut down a little bit. And one guy offered, he said, I'll help you cut anything down you want. And then when he realized I was dead serious, then he was like, well, maybe I'll run into you randomly sometime. And that was it. Like, he was done offering his table saw to me. And I was like, wait a minute, but you offered. No, I'm really disappointed. I genuinely want to cut my tabletop down. And I'm the type, I would go to Home Depot, 100%. I would go to Home Depot, roll up in the parking lot, take up like 3 stalls, go in, buy a table saw, set it up in the parking lot, run it off of my battery bank, do what I have to do, and then pack it all up and return it the same day. But I've been really busy lately, and that's like a whole day process. I got a lot of other stuff I gotta do. In fact, even taking the time to do this little quick update is kind of a detour. Because it's tax season. I have so many of these medical things that I need to submit to my insurance in the random hopes that they'll cover some of the cost that I paid out of pocket. And then tomorrow I go down to TJ for the dental stuff. I worked all weekend on my actual day job stuff. So end of the quarter, we are releasing this big new feature, and generally I handle most of the documentation for our product. And I I rewrote top to bottom about 50 technical docs over the weekend. Yeah, it was a long weekend. But what I've discovered is that works the best, because I had a couple just super minor docs left that I couldn't get to over the weekend, and I was like, oh, I'll just knock them out today. It took me the entire work day to finish like 2 or 3, because all day long people were interrupting me in Slack, just messaging me one thing after another, and I was just like, this is why I like to just do it after hours, on the weekend, whatever, when everybody is gone and offline, no distractions, because I'd be working on something. And I already have, so with the Mercury stuff going on, I've had such bad brain fog the last, 6 months, that even when I'm in the middle of working on something, I'll forget what it is that I'm fucking doing. And so I'll be working on something today, doing work, and then all of a sudden I get a message, and they message me about something completely unrelated, and then I'm like, I get done with that, and I'm like, fuck, what was I working on? What was I doing? Oh my god. I have so many tabs open in my browser right now. Where was I? What was I doing? Okay, let's just walk it back from where we were. We did this, and then this, and then, and it'd take like 10-15 minutes to remember what the fuck it was I was working on. And then I'll get interrupted again. I was like, oh. And they're all important interruptions. So, yeah. that was an interesting little ditty today. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go walk Dora. She is still here, by the way. I know some people have expressed concern. Dora is still here. She's doing amazing. She's hiding out in the front. Some random dude was checking out my house today, like knocking on all the windows, and when I called him out on it, he's like, oh yeah, you know, I was just admiring your rig and whatever, and if I can offer you a piece of advice, whatever, you know, California people are really weird about you having dogs locked in your vehicle and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I've been here 3 years, buddy. Like, the whole Californians being concerned about my dogs isn't a new thing. And he got all weird after that. Like, like, I don't know. Did you put an air tag on my vehicle or something sketchy? Like, so, yeah, I actually am gonna do a walk around my vehicle just to make sure he didn't, because people are weird. What I've found out is that there's really no limitation to the weirdness that you can discover in life that people will get up to. So, aliens, I'm telling you guys, fucking aliens. People are aliens. And reptiles. And cat beings. I don't know. I had this really interesting conversation one time with a friend about why are domesticated cats, why are their eyes like lizard eyes, but then big cats like lions, they have normal predator eyes. They're round. Yeah, so we basically determined that cats are actually reptilian creatures in disguise. And that's why they have reptile eyes. They're not actually cats. Which also leads into the rabbit hole. Cats are evil. Cats are devious. They will steal your soul. You gotta watch out. I don't think there's ever going to be a time when I own a cat. I did when I was younger. Had this cat, Leroy, black and white, and he was amazing. God, he was the most badass of badass cats. So there's a song, Leroy Brown, bad Leroy Brown. So that was how we named Leroy Black and White. He was black and white, not brown. So bad Leroy Black and White, baddest cat in the whole dang town. And but the problem is that cats pee on stuff. For various reasons. Like, they might just mark something, or they might end up with a bladder problem. A lot of them end up with kidney bullshit, and then they just start peeing on stuff. And then once that starts, it never stops. You never get rid of that cat urine smell, ever. It embeds itself deeply into everything. And I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to smell like cat piss all the time. I'm just not. These friends of my ex, we went over for dinner one time, and super fucking sweet, cool people. I walked in their house and right away I was just like, oh god, I'm never gonna get rid of the cat odor from my body after this. It was just everywhere. And it was so strange to me because they would make fun of Dora and were bothered by Dora and her weirdness, and then ironically, they were completely oblivious that they all smell like cat pee. I'm like, what universe am I on right now where you're offended by my clean smelling dog who just happens to not be able to keep her tongue in her mouth, but you are oblivious to the cat urine just prolifically perfuming your home. So yeah, I don't know. There's something there. I just can't do it. I think if I was gonna get something in my house that could potentially smell it up, I would get like a pet goat. Something really fucking bizarre where they'd be like, yeah, that's that fucking goat lady. She lives in an ambulance with her goat. Either a goat or even like a pet chicken. Because, you know, you can get chickens, like the little diapers and shit, so you can live in the house. You get them little pants. And then I get my own chicken eggs, farm fresh chicken eggs. Chickens are kind of fun too. I learned how to talk to them, do a little chicken talk when I when I was younger. um, Gosh, or maybe like one of those little miniature steers. You know, the little cows. They're so little. Oh yeah, that would be great. I would never get a pig though, like those little potbelly pigs and stuff. Pigs get way too big. They get way too big. They're really clean creatures. Surprisingly enough, most people think they like to wallow in mud all the time. I mean, basically, they're, you know, if they're stuck in a really shitty, muddy environment, they're going to take advantage of it. But pigs are surprisingly clean creatures. And oh, God, they're fucking smart. Smarter than dogs. But they get really big. Really big. And I'd want my piggy to be able to run around. I'd have to tether him off the back of the ambulance or something. Like, oh, you know what? That's going to be my dream tonight. I'm going to intentionally dream about, like, Captain Erica's traveling farm ambulance. Yep. Yep, that's what we're doing tonight. Okay, anyways, it's been enough. Yeah, things are on an upward swing. I'm actually really excited at the idea that the majority of my issues could be mercury poisoning, because that is a solvable problem. Chelation is, I mean, it'll be a pain in the butt for a little while, but it is a doable thing. And excuse me, I've needed to get these amalgam fillings out for a long time. Anyways, I was actually going to get them out like a year and a half ago. I started, God, now I got the burps. Sorry. I actually started looking into dentists a year and a half ago, and then I let somebody talk me out of it. Like, oh, you know, it's really overblown, this whole bullshit idea that amalgams poison you, blah, 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 blah. And I was already busy with a bunch of other stuff anyways, so I just was like, oh, well, I'll just put it on the back burner and come back to it later. And, yeah, you know, it's funny how things just come back full circle. So, here we are again. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Get them fixed up, get my teeth fixed up, and start chelation. Go from there, fingers crossed. And the other thing too with this whole process of being really histamine intolerant is my outlook about why I'm intolerant to certain foods has changed a lot, and I'm reevaluating a lot of what I thought I knew about it for myself. And it's kind of exciting to think that I might not have to live my entire life eating only meat. As much as I love the carnivore diet, I didn't do the carnivore diet because, oh yeah, like humans are only meant to eat meat. I did it out of necessity. I did it because everything made me sick to eat. So I would be lying if I said that there aren't times where I'm like, you know, it would be really awesome to be able to just sit down and, you know, like eat a regular meal somewhere. That might be kind of nice. I miss out on a lot of social opportunities, and I'm pretty good at coping with challenges in life, so I haven't looked at that and been upset about it and like, oh, poor me, I can't socialize as much as I want to. Instead I kind of took the approach of, well, I really wasn't interested in socializing that much anyways. But I would like to be more sociable. And you would be amazed at, you know, when you restrict what you eat and how much you eat, you would be amazed at how quickly you realize that most social activities revolve around food. They really do. I mean, think about it. Birthdays, anniversaries, work parties. You've got happy hour. You've got hey, let's just go sit down and have a coffee, or, you know, let's go grab brunch. Brunch, lunch, dinner. Every date somebody wants to go on, hey, let's go grab this, let's go grab tacos. And it's, I don't know, like, I really enjoy the fact that the majority of my life doesn't revolve around food activities, but also it gets really old to say, oh, well, I don't eat this, or I can't eat that, or I don't really, you know, whatever, instead of just being like, yeah, all right, whatever, let's go grab this. I don't know. Be interesting to explore and see if I like the difference. It'd be nice to have the option instead of being forced to just not participate. Anyways, that's my ramble. That's my update. Sorry it's getting late. It's getting dark on me, but whatever. Suck it up anyways. It's almost summer. Daylight savings is just rolled in. I don't know about this neighbor over here. I'm on the fence. The guy he's hanging out with is always fucking doing drugs. He literally just snorted a line of coke. I'm watching him in his vehicle, and he literally just did a rail. Come here. Come here. Like, dude, your windows aren't that tinted. Come here. Good girl. Oh, there she is. There's the lady of the hour. Ooh, she brought her tongue. You bring your tongue, Mama? I know you want to go for a walk, don't you? Yes, we're going to go out, go roaming for a few miles. I know, she's been a real trooper because she's been stuck in the house with me a lot lately. I've been working on this stupid shit. But yeah, no, this neighbor of mine, this older guy, Stanley, really nice, came over, introduced himself to me one day. He was like, yeah, you want to go grab some dinner at whatever restaurant or something? And I was like, oh, I just ate, but thanks, you know. And we caught up for a minute. And then he just kind of seemed nice, kept to himself. But the last month and a half, he's got this dude hanging out in his van with him all the time. And the guy's always doing drugs. Not the old guy, not Stanley, but the guy he's with. I don't know. The guy's younger. I don't know if it's his son, maybe? Could be his son. Seems kind of weird that you be hanging out with your son and your son's just doing drugs in the front seat of your van, though. But then again, people are aliens. So, yeah. The Wild West. I love my neighborhood. Love my neighbors. You ready? You want to go potty? Yeah, you want to go potty? We gonna go? Let's go. Oh, she's just staring me down. Okay, let's go.